All right, guys. I've got the 2018 Ford Edge up on the ramps. I'm getting ready to actually clay bar the vehicle today. Today's Columbus Day. One thing I wanted to do was wash it with Dawn soap. I did that the other day and get it in the garage. And now that the paint has been stripped of any wax or grease or anything like that, I'm ready to clay bar it. But before I did that, I wanted to pull it up on the ramps, and I wanted to, for the first time, it's got, I think, 15,800 miles now. I wanted to take these little, I don't know what you call them, sound deadener covers off that are underneath the vehicle. And I'll show you, I took off the right side, and because, again, this is the first time I've owned a 2.7 liter EcoBoost. It's got the, I believe it's a 6-speed transmission in it. And just from a maintenance perspective, I'm curious where this power transfer unit is. That because it's an all-wheel drive, it's a sport, all the sports are all-wheel drive in 2018. I wanted to see where that PTU is, because when I get to around maybe 20,000 miles, I want to change out that fluid. I've heard nightmare stories about the PTU failing and all that kind of stuff. So I want to find out exactly where it is, where the drain plug is, where the fill plug is, and just removing these little covers. It's not a beauty cover on the front, like on the top of the engine. It's underneath. I can imagine that it helps with maybe road noise and keeping any rocks or any type of anything coming up and hitting at the underneath things. I don't know if there's really any value from a noise perspective, but at the end of the day, I'm going to take these off, find out where that PTU is, and show you guys while I'm doing it. So let's get to it. So I took this off. This is the driver's side, and it's got 5 little bolts, and this is what it looks like. It's very flimsy. But it does have some sturdiness to it. It's got this little metal piece here. Actually, is it metal or is it? Maybe it's just it's just a foil. It's just a foil piece. It's not metal, and that is where it goes near the exhaust underneath. But these little guys are 7 millimeters. So I just have this little 1/4-inch ratchet. And this screwdriver is for this little plug here. It's a plastic little clip. And you just put your screwdriver underneath it and kind of just carefully pop it up. And then it comes down. So yeah, it's pretty easy. So I'm going to do this other side. And I'll show you why or how I do it. So turn the light on. And we'll get the camera positioned so you guys can see exactly where this thing is. So like I said, I guess real quick I'll show you this side. So here's the front. That's the driver's side, passenger side. And I took off the driver's side, and it exposes the transmission here. So here's your oil pan of sorts, but this is your transmission, and this is your transmission drain plug. So right here, and it's interesting if you look at it closely. Again, I just pulled this off minutes ago. You can see it's not seated all the way up in there, but yeah, so that's where you drain the transmission, and the fill is on the top. There's actually I think you got to take maybe the air box off to get to it. But again, I just wanted to see where everything was when you take these things off, and I believe the PTU is on the other side. So let's take this thing off here. If I can get this little tripod to stand still. Positioning the camera is sometimes a pain in the butt. So we'll get this little guy going. There's one right here. If I had a little, you see these little like handheld battery operated ratchets. They're nice. I don't know. This thing works just fine. All right, there's one. Over here. I really love having these ramps. I've had these ramps for a long time. They're just great. I've had them, I don't know, probably at least a good 15 years. And they weren't that expensive. And they're great for oil changes, transmission work, radiator, flushes. I mean, power steering flushes. I mean, you name it. They're just great. And they're sturdy. They're wide enough for, pretty much most any vehicle. At least most any vehicle that I would own. So, all right, let me move a little bit to the side so I can not bump the camera when I get back here further. So it's 2 down. And these really are not in that tight at all. I mean, they're just super easy to get off. Not quite hand ready. Let's get a little sand and dirt up in there and make it a little bit harder to get off. But so there's 3, and looks like there's one more back here. And again, this is the passenger side. Okay, so that's... Okay, yeah, so that... Oh, there's another one back there. There's 2 in the front, 2 in this back, and there's kind of 1 in the middle. So 5 total of these little 7mm bolts or screws or whatever they are. Okay, so those are the 5 bolts. Now, where's my screwdriver? Okay, so right here, looks like I gotta back this thing up a little bit. Right here is that little plastic clip. And I don't know about you, I like to see how this thing comes off. So just take the screwdriver, just a regular flathead. It's a long screwdriver. It's not the small flathead. It's just a regular flathead. And kind of stick it underneath there, and I just kind of wiggle it back and forth, and you see how it kind of comes down. and I want to, obviously I don't want to break it, so kind of lift it down, and then comes right down. So piece of cake. All right, so passenger side is off, and this is what we're looking at. So again, transmission here, bottom of the oil pan here, and this is that composite. You know, some people like to think maybe you would replace this oil pan with a a metal, like aftermarket one or something. I don't know. We'll see. I might consider doing that if one exists. Looks like the alternator right there. And as we work our way towards the rear of the vehicle, I'm thinking right here, this thing is the power transfer unit, the PTU. Tranny. Looks like this is the tranny support here. And of course the exhaust. So this PTU here, I think it's got to be it. And I say that because here's this pipe. Let me move this light a little bit. Sorry. Obviously oil drain. Here's this pipe coming out of this side here, coming out, going over to the wheel, to this passenger side front wheel, and then this connects into the transmission here, and you work your way over, and there's a bar that comes out of there that goes over to the driver's side wheel over here, and then you've got, let me see if I can get the light on it. You got that bar that comes out the back up there, and that goes back that way to the rear of the vehicle to power the rear wheels. So this has got to be the PTU, and I think this is the drain for it. It looks like a star fitting, and let me look around here. If that's it, and I mean, it definitely looks like it is. If that's the drain, that's a piece of cake. That's awesome. The fill would be up here on the side somewhere. Oh, I think that's it right there. So if I come over here, you can see there's this electrical whip here, and right there, there's a nut there, and I think that's for the fill. So the PTU drain, take this out so you get the airflow, and then take this out and you get the drain, and then you just pump the fluid in here. What is it, like a quart, I think they say? So yeah, that's awesome. That's a piece of cake. I can definitely do that myself, and I can get the fluid from AMSOIL. I'm an AMSOIL guy, so I could get that fluid and do it myself. I think I want to do that at 20,000 miles. It's only a quart, I think. I'll have to double check all that stuff. But that's one of the things that I fear on this vehicle. I've never had an all-wheel drive vehicle. I've had a four-wheel drive vehicle, but never an all-wheel drive vehicle. And yeah, I will definitely be doing that myself. I don't have to take that anywhere. It's a piece of cake. Now I have to check on the differential if I'm gonna do the differential myself. It's way back there in the rear of the vehicle. But I just wanted to get under here today, take these little covers off, and just see what I've got here. Yeah, I think that's the PTU right next to this oil pan. And if I'm looking at this oil pan, it doesn't look like, I don't know. I don't know if you have to take the exhaust off to get the oil pan out. But I'm not crazy about this composite oil pan. If they make an aftermarket metal one, I might be in the business of changing that out, and I could change that out myself if I don't have to take off this exhaust. I'm not excited about taking the exhaust apart. Just not something I enjoy doing. If I can get it without doing it, I may in fact do that. But anyways, figured I'd do that, show you guys what this is all about, what's underneath this 2.7 liter V6 in the Sport. And again, let me just kind of get your reference points right. So back here, driver's side, tranny, pretty easy. Got the drain plug right there. Oil pan, drain plug, and then you just keep going towards the back of the vehicle, and there's your PTU. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me in the comments below, please, because I think that's it. And yeah, awesome. I plan on keeping this vehicle for a long time. I am a guy that buys vehicles and keeps them for as long as I can. And this thing is a 2018. If I can maintain this thing, I want to get 200,000 miles out of it. And we'll see how that goes. 200,000 miles for, if I drove it for, or my wife, it's my wife's vehicle, but I drive it sometimes. If we drove it, 12,000 miles a year, 15,000 miles maybe, I would love to get, that 12 to 15 years out of this thing. So changing the engine fluid, the tranny fluid, and that PTU are going to be important. I got the oil catch can on, and if I can do that, I can't think that this thing's not going to last 200,000 miles. So, of course, we don't wreck it. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Just kind of exploring this vehicle underneath myself, and one of these days I'll get back on the backside and back this thing onto the ramps and take a look at that differential. I'll do that in another video someday, but I'm not too concerned about the differential right now. We're only 15,000 miles in, so maybe around 50,000-60,000 miles I'll get interested in that differential. But okay, guys, like I said, at 20,000 miles I'm gonna drain that PTU, put in some AMSOIL, probably the 75W140. We'll see what Ford recommends and what AMSOIL recommends, and we'll go with that. So all right, guys, take care, and we'll talk to you in the next video. So God bless out here.